book I'm book talking is called The Selection, and I got this yesterday morning and I finished it yesterday night. So it's really good. It's basically about, so apparently we survived the Third World War and the Fourth World War has passed, and now they have a kingdom, and so there's like kings and queens and everything. And the prince needs a wife, and so they have the selection for 35 young women, and then they go to the castle, and slowly they get like weeded out until they get to the elite, which are like the top 10. But currently, the kingdom is kind of under attack by the northerners and the southerners, which don't like the kingdom, and they're trying to basically demolish it, so they get all these attacks from them. And so sometimes like the girls get really scared and they leave. So like now for the protection, he ends up, like, the elite are only going to be 6 this time. And so, yeah, so the second book is called The Elite, and that goes through what that is. I'm really excited because today the third book came out called The One, so I'm really excited for that. It was really good.
The book's name that I am talking about is Orcs. It's about a band of orcs that have to fetch this thing, and then they get into a lot of trouble and things happen. It starts off right away in a fight scene, so, you know, right to the action part. They build up, they introduce the characters while they're fighting, so it's usually one fight scene after another, so they've gotten done with one thing, they're traveling a little bit, and then all of a sudden they get attacked by something else. So they're sent by their queen to find a cylinder thing, and they don't know what's inside it. And then, so they find it, they open it, and they talk to this gremlin about what it's about, so then that leads them on their adventure of troubles and all that. So it's a really good book, but it's very gruesome.
It's a little mature too.
Yes, a little mature. So,
only a little.
Only a little.
Sexual themes.
So, and for those who have to have romance in it, out of all the 4 books, there's a page and a half. So there you go.
2% romance.
No more like less than 1.
Okay, good job.
0.00000%.
Yeah, so
Don't forget the 0.
that's probably all you need to know. Yes, Keaton?
Do they get attacked by elves?
Do they?
They should get attacked by Elvis Presley.
No. They don't really get attacked by elves. They don't really get attacked by elves. Oh yeah, and they say, basically they point out all the bad characteristics of humans.
Elvis Presley.
Yes.
What is an orc?
An orc is, well, that's actually sort of hard to explain.
It's that thing.
It's that thing.
That's normal.
Is it like a species?
Yes, it's a species of humanoid. In the world they live in, there's a bunch of things like that. There's dwarves, elves, trolls, humans.
And then there's humans.
Not hobbits. I don't think there's hobbits. Yes, and then there's humans. Nobody likes the humans in this.
So the book I am book talking is called Holes by Sachar. I actually pronounced that right. Woo! So it's about a boy, Stanley Yelnats, which is kind of amusing considering his name is spelled the same forwards and backwards. So he's running around walking, and then one day he has these shoes fall down like out of the sky, out of nowhere. And he's like, oh, I got these shoes, because his father is doing experiments with that, so he runs home. And it turns out they're the shoes of someone famous, and they were stolen from an orphanage. He immediately gets blamed for it, and then either gets sent to prison, or, wait, no, that's a different plot.
No, you're right.
No, you're right.
Oh yeah,
Green
Camp Green Lake. So Camp Green Lake is, like kind of like Juvie Hall, but it's... No, not actually kind of like Alcatraz, you're right, am I right?
Except without the water.
Yeah, might as well. So it's not really a lake as it is a giant dust bowl full of holes.
It used to be a
Every
lake.
day you have to dig a hole 5 feet deep by 1 foot wide.
5 feet deep by 5 feet wide.
Oh yeah, so giant, not so square hole.
5 feet.
And then when you're done, you go and just you have free time for the rest of the day. And it seems like they're only trying to make these people better by making them work, but there's more to that, and so develops the plot of the story, which I'm not going to ruin for you.
There's a sequel.
Ta-da! Yes.
I haven't read it yet.
I did it again.
I want to read it.
Yes.
I have a question.
Oh,
Is there a
yes.
movie made after this book?
Yes, and it's not a very good movie. I saw it. I did not like it.
I like it. It's okay.
Bearded dragons for the other lizards.
I don't. Yeah, there's lizards that they bite you, you die, and they don't like onions evidently. So more of the plot.
You ruined the plot of the movie.
No.
Okay. Good job. Woo. Oh
They don't like combat Butler, even though he doesn't actually really ever go into combat, but when he does, he's practically invincible because, well, when he was only 16 years old, he was abandoned, leaving to fend for himself against the Deuker, who were after his organs to settle his parents' massive gambling debt. Looking for a way to somehow acquire 157 million yen, which is about, like, I think it's just like you take away 2 zeros and that's how much it is in dollars, pretty sure. But that's like something, and then before he's cut up by gangsters. And then he stumbles upon a rich girl he can kidnap and ransom. The only problem, he's a terrible criminal and ends up saving her life from the other would-be kidnappers and apparently confesses his love for her. In order to work off his debt, the girl Nagi, who is convinced that Hayate is in love with her, and the maid Maria, who knows otherwise, allow him to work as a butler in the mansion. Hayate's 10 years of butler is not easy, however, and he is filled with talking tigers, homicidal robots, jealous relatives, and overarching hilarity. Serializing the weekly and then, yeah. And then there are also like 448 volumes. There's like, and it's still, if you can see here, it's still ongoing. 449 will be coming next. And, oh, by the way, the author is Hade Kenjiro, and it's 110th on the entire website, and there's an anime for it, animation. There are a lot of chapters. And then, like, my favorite chapter name is, even though you will be a new type, the more you open the mouth, the more you open your mouth, the more likely you are to put your foot in it. I would also like to share 2 funny parts from the story that I
I
thought
think that
were pretty
translates
funny.
different in Japanese.
This one, like, if I confess, I'll probably be rejected again. In that case, because it's probably just a dream, can I have a goodnight kiss? Says to the guy, and then wait.
No.
And then a tiger was in the room and said, so she gets a kiss from the tiger.
And it's called Plus One. And it's about a girl, and she goes on an adventure to get her brother's baby because her brother is allowed to live in the day and she has to live at night. And her grandpa's dying, so she wants her grandpa to meet the baby. Yep.
To make a baby.
No, meet.
Oh, sorry.
And yeah, she like tries to hurt herself intentionally, and then people like catch on to her, so then she kind of gets in trouble, and then she just gets in more trouble. Yeah.
This book is Jim Candy. So this kid from when he was little, he always liked football, and his name is Mick. So it was like, yeah. So his dream is to be like a professional football player. So in the summer, him and his friends always play football like all day to like get prepared for tryouts. So they make their team on their A team, but they have to work out over the summer to get like stronger, and his coach said he's not strong enough yet. So Mick like goes to this special training place to get insane training, but he thinks that the guy there is gay.
What?
So they get it. So he just goes back to his school, but it's not working that well because they don't have the best equipment. So then he goes back to that gym, the really nice one, and there's a different trainer there, and he's a lot better, and he's trying to convince him to do steroids. So
Oh my god.
Right.
so I gotta read to find out.
Jim Candy.